Now that we've worked a little bit with that breadboard and you understand it a little bit better, it'll be more clear when you start to use it. So let's go ahead and grab these components. Let's grab our Arduino and let's grab one of our resistors and let's grab one of our LEDs. Now in this case, we're using the Arduino only for power. So we're not going to write any code or anything like that here today. It's just essentially being a battery. Now the Arduino will need to be plugged in, and you can either plug that into your computer or you can plug that into the battery pack that you have. So let's go over to the bench and I'll walk through this circuit with you, and then you can also build it up yourself. So here's the first circuit we're going to create. It's quite simple. All we're going to do is we're going to light this LED. You can use any LED you want, and the color of the wires don't matter. So I'm going to pick a few colors, but you can use any color that you want. Let's get started. For our first circuit, we're going to use this LED and this resistor, and we're just going to turn the LED on. We're not going to do anything more complicated than that. So now I'm going to change things up here. You can either follow the diagram that's on the next slide or the previous slide, or you can go ahead and follow me on this breadboard. Now there's a lot of different kind of combinations on which ways you can lay this out. To make this simple and to follow with some of the other examples that we're going to do a little bit later on, I'm going to set it up so that the long lead is on the left side. So just find a spot anywhere on the breadboard, and we're just going to plug that LED in with the long lead on the left and the short lead on the right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our resistor, and on the short lead, we're going to plug that in to ground. So we're going to go from the short lead to the blue negative rail right here. So we're just going to hook it in like that. And now that circuit is going to go down to ground, and it's going to be power, LED, resistor, ground is going to be the way that combination works. Then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to actually put the LED to the power, to the 3.3 volts. So we're going to take a wire and we're going to hook it to 5 volts, which is going to be the plus, to the positive, or the long LED. And now all we need to do is hook up our Arduino. So let's go ahead and grab that. Now, keep in mind, we're only using the Arduino for power. So let's go ahead and grab, I'm going to use this black wire here, and I'm going to take this ground, which is on this side, and I'm just going to plug it to the ground. Anywhere on the ground will work. Actually, I'm going to put it on this other side. It can go anywhere along this negative bar. And then I'm going to grab this yellow wire, and I'm going to hook that up to 3.3 volts, which happens to be on the other side of the Arduino board. And it's going to go into the ground, or the positive, and it can go anywhere into the positive. Now, assuming we have this wired up correctly, I'm going to grab my battery. You can use the battery or your computer. I'm going to plug this in, and assuming we've got it wired up, that LED should come on. And it does. Perfect. So now our LED lights up just fine. And power is coming in through the red positive to the left-hand side of our LED, and then through that resistor to ground. So there you have it. There's your very first circuit, and it worked perfect. Now, I do want to show you one thing real quick. If you got this LED backwards, and I'm just going to turn mine around, nothing's going to happen. It won't light up. It also won't blow up. So these resistors are pretty fault tolerant, and it will just simply do nothing if you plug it in backwards. So keep that in mind. If you do accidentally plug it in and it doesn't light up, the first thing you want to do is unplug your power if it doesn't work, and you want to re-examine all of your circuits, all of your wires, and make sure they're set up correctly. So I would then want to check this, and I'd say, oh, yep, that's in backwards. And so I'm going to turn that around, and then I'm going to test it again. And the reason we want to unplug that is because we don't want to accidentally short out our board. So we don't want to accidentally put positive to ground and cause it to be shorted out like we talked about earlier. So anyway, there we go. There's our very first circuit.